Amandla. Forward with our government in the Northern Cape, forward. Forward with the national government, forward. Amandla. Thank you. Let us sit down. Program directors, both our program directors, our Premier, Dr. Zamani Sol, Minister of Human Settlements, Minister Mamuluku Kubai, Minister of the Public Service, Minister Kivit, Deputy Ministers who are here with us. I saw Deputy Minister Chwete, MECs who are here present, the Executive Mayor of Francis Bard District, the Executive Mayor of Sol Plaatje Local Municipality, representatives of government institutions, the religious leaders who are here with us, en lede van ons gemeenskappe. Ek is baie bly om hier te wees en goeiemôre. Dumelang, molweni, good morning. Dit is vir my 'n groot plesier om vandag om hier in Roodepan te wees. Dit is 'n groot plesier om met almal van julle hier in die Noorde-Kaap kan gesels. Nou, vandag is 'n baie belangrike dag. Ons maak geskiedenis vandag. Hierdie is 'n dag waarom ons maak groot geskiedenis. A big history in South Africa. Dit is die eerste keer wat ons 'n groot mega behuisingsprojek launch soos hierdie ene. Hier in die Noorde-Kaap. Now, compatriots, we are launching a very important project. You can see I'm wearing an overall. Ek lyk baie mooi vandag. Ek is nie soos hierdie mense wat tas het vandag and who are wearing a suit like the guy who was here representing the CEO of DBSA. Hy lyk amper mooi, maar ek is die mooiste vandag. Ek lyk so want before coming here, the Premier took me to a site to go and do the sword turning. Hy het my 'n graf gegee en toe doen ek die sword turning. The sword turning where we are going to launch and to build houses for our people. As Minister Kubai was saying, this is the fulfillment of a dream that was conceptualized by our forebears when they drafted the Freedom Charter and launched it in Kliptown in Gauteng today. where they said, there shall be houses, security and comfort, and where they said, all people shall have the right to live where they choose, be decently housed, and to bring up their families in comfort and in security. And they went on to say, unused housing space must be made available to the people. And they said, rent and prices shall be brought down so that people can afford. That's what they said. And then they also said, we shall have a preventative health scheme that shall be run by the state in Parliament. And I'm glad to see the Deputy Chair of the National Council of Provinces, our comrade Sylvia Lucas, who is here with us. She oversaw the adoption of the National Health Insurance. The National Health Insurance was dreamed about when the Freedom Charter was adopted in 1955. And it said free medical care and hospitalization shall be provided to all. And then it continues, slums shall be demolished and the new suburbs shall be built where all shall have transport, and there will be roads, lighting, playing fields, creches, and social centers. That is what our forebears said in 1955. Now, ek wil baie dankie sê vir julle premier, Comrade Zamani Saul. Want there is a premier who has a vision. He has a vision. 2 years ago, he and I were driving in the same car. I was not driving. He was not driving. Of course, he can't drive. I can drive better than him. But he and I were in the same car, and we sat at the back, and he told me about the needs of housing in this province. And he said, President, there is so much need for housing here in the Northern Cape. And he said to me, our people are setting up informal settlements all over here in the Northern Cape, from Springbok, right through to Uppington, right through to Katu, right through to here in Kimberley and the Yellow Plaque. And he said, our budget for housing is quite a small budget because we are the smallest province. And he said, right now people, because they don't have houses, you'll find that there are almost 25 to 30 people in one small four-roomed house. The mother and the father, the children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, and elke mens van die familie bly net in 4-kamer huis. And he says that has become unacceptable. And I agreed with him. I said, yeah, it is not acceptable. We must find a solution. Thereafter, we started thinking about a solution. And I said to him, why don't we use the budget that you have and front load it and look into the years ahead and see if we cannot build the houses now. And he said, President, that is so true, because if we don't do that, we will have to wait for 50 years before we build houses for all our people. And I said, we're going to talk to the Minister of Finance, and in the State of the Nation address, I did raise this issue, as he says. I said we must find funding mechanisms that are going to enable us to build houses now, to build schools now, and be able to pay for them on an ongoing basis going forward. Ek is baie bly dat ons doen dit vandag hier in die Noord-Kaap. Die projek begin hier in die Noord-Kaap because the Northern Cape is leading. I want to thank your Premier. Your Premier was brave, he was forward-looking, he was innovative, and once we had said that in Parliament, he started going to the financial houses. He did not sit on his bum and do nothing. He immediately stood up and went to the various financing houses. And finally, we have a project today which is quite historic. This is a project that is a trailblazer. We are testing it here in Northern Cape, and now the Northern Cape is leading. The Northern Cape is the leading province when it comes to this, and we are going to roll it out throughout the country. And you can be proud that the Northern Cape has many, many other things that it is leading in, but this is one of the things that the Northern Cape has shown great leadership. And let us say thank you to your Premier, Dr. Zamani Saul, for this initiative. Now, you are also a leading province when it comes to attracting investment. We are seeing a lot of investors coming here to the Northern Cape. We have attracted more than 100 billion rand in investment in renewable energy, in solar energy. And we are seeing the Northern Cape growing exponentially and creating jobs. And of course, we want to see more and more jobs being created. But it makes me happy that we are now addressing one of the key challenges which has to do with housing. Die behuising van ons mense is 'n baie belangrike projek vir die regering. En ek is baie bly dat ons doen dit hier in die Noord-Kaap. And we're doing it here because you are going to show South Africa how it is done. You are going to show South Africa that a project like this can be done in a short space of time. The Premier tells me, he says, President, now that you have done the sword turning, the contractors are already appointed. Hierdie project gaan gou begin. Ons gaan nie wag vir 'n ander jaar of vir maande. Dit gaan nou begin. Now, that is pleasing to my ears. Ek is baie bly daarom, want we want to see action. We want to see action being taken. And we don't want to see lazy people. Mense wat lui is, wat net praat en praat en praat en doen niks nie. And the other thing is that this project, ons doen dit met 'n groot bank, the Development Bank of Southern Africa. Dit is 'n groot bank en hierdie bank werk nie net hier nie in Suid-Afrika. Dit werk in ander lande ook. In Lesotho, Botswana, hulle gaan tot Angola toe en Zimbabwe en 'n paar plekke. So dit is 'n groot bank. And that gives us also the assurance that mense gaan nie geld steel nie. Mense gaan nie geld steel nie. And the other thing is, we don't want to see overpricing. We don't want to see prices that are going to go out of control. The prices must be equal to the work that is going to be done. And another important thing, a belangrike ding, the work will be done by local contractors. Now, dit is baie belangrik. Dit is 'n baie belangrike punt. Want ons wil nie hoor nie dat die mense wat hier gaan bou is mense wat van Limpopo afkom. Ons wil nie hoor nie dat dis mense van Kaapstad afkom. Hulle moet ons eie mense hier wees. Daarom is dit so belangrik. And another thing, ons wil hê dat die geld wat ons gaan gebruik met hier net circulate. Die geld moet nie London toe gaan of New York toe gaan. Die geld moet hier wees. Dit moet hier bly. Dit is baie belangrik vir ons. En ek wil net weer sê, vir hierdie maatskappye wat nou die kontrak kry, julle moet julle werkers mooi, you must look after your workers. Julle moet julle werkers mooi hanteer en hulle moet lekker werk. Ons wil nie hoor nie dat julle werkers, they work like slaves. You must pay them well. You must look after them. And of course, ons wil hoor dat maatskappye, companies that are led by women must also participate in this project. And companies that are led by young people, corrected the other day by the Minister of Human Settlements, Minister Kubai, who whispered to me and said, President, eindelijk, ons het 4,700,000 huise gebouw. 4,700,000 are the houses we've built. We built those number of houses in the 30 years. Now, this is what we have done. Of course, when we started, when President Mandela came in, he felt that we needed to fulfill what is set out in the Freedom Charter. He had Joe Slovo as his Minister of Housing, we used to call him. And over time, they started building houses and giving them free to our people. Mahala. Taking a house and giving it mahala to somebody. Now, I have not found that in many countries on our continent nor in the world. When they talk about houses, you know, I was in Russia a few months ago, and President Putin was saying to me, they are building 2 million houses, and I said, wow, that's great. And I asked, what do you do with the houses? He says, no, they come and buy these houses. They buy these houses, and quietly I said, he doesn't know what we do in South Africa. On says, beter as yele, because we, recognizing that our people are poor, and they were made poor by the apartheid system. The government of today, government of the ANC has had to respond to that. But anyway, so there I am walking in Queenstown. So walking in Queenstown in the street, and we're doing, you know, from house to house and all that. So this lady, two scenes say me, and say for me, President, asseblief, kom nader, kom by my huis. En toe sê ek, hoekom moet ek by jou huis kom? Sy sê, nee, ek wil net hê jy moet kom sien wat die regering vir my gedoen het. En toe sê ek, maar ja, die regering het baie mense huise gegee. Sy sê, nee, my huis is 'n baie spesiaal huis. Ek wil hê jy moet dit kom sien. Toe neem sy my met die hand, en sy sê, kom sien. Nou sy is baie mooi, sy, no, very, very good looking, and now she pulls me by the hand. Now, when you are pulled by the hand like that, you can't resist so much. Now, toe gaan ek met haar. Now I get to her house. Now I'm with other comrades. And when we get to her house, toe sê sy vir my, President, kan jy sien hoe mooi my huis lyk? Ek sê, nee, ek sien. Sy sê, net kyk net by die ceiling. Ek kyk, baie mooi ceiling. She said, sien net die tiles daaronder. Ek sien dit is 'n baie mooi RDP huis. En daarna sê sy, ek wil hê jy moet my slaapkamer kom sien. Nou, no, ek weet nie wat denk julle nie. Maar sy het my gevra om by haar slaapkamer gaan. Nou, toe wag ek net 'n bietjie. Toe wag ek, want my ouers het vir my gesê, toe, as I was growing up, hulle het vir my gesê, jy, my seun, jy moet nie en ou mense se slaapkamers gaan nie. Nou, ek het gou gedink daaroor. Toe sê ek vir myself, wow, my ouers het my hierdie message gegee, maar hulle is nie weer daar nie. So ek kan maar sommer gaan. Toe gaan ek. Nou maar, ek het nie net voluntarily gegaan. Toe trek sy my met die hand. Sy trek my met die hand. Nou sy vat my by haar slaapkamer. Ek kom daar. Nou toe, she closes the door. She closes the door. Ek vertel julle. Now the other comrades remain behind. I think, you know, there were comrades from the ANC Women's League, and no, you know, they look at me suspiciously. And they asked themselves, what is the president up to now? Now, I didn't close the door. She closed the door. So she closes the door, and then now we are two in her bedroom. Nou, toe sê sy vir my, President, sien jy hoe mooi my kamer lyk? Ek sê, ja, dit lyk baie, baie mooi. En toe sê sy, kan jy sien my bed? En my bedspread, en ek sê, nee, dit is baie, baie mooi. En toe sê sy, kan jy ook my headboard sien? En dit is een van hierdie headboards wat baie mooi is, en die duvet is baie mooi. Toe sê sy, President, jy kan sommer hier op die bed sit. Nou, ek weet nie waar denk julle nie. En toe sit ek en ek voel dat hierdie bed is baie soft en is 'n baie soft bed. En toe sê sy, you can also put your head on the pillow. Now, no, let me tell you. Now, as soon as she said that, I did put my head on the pillow, but I quickly remembered, I said, wow, what is Mrs. Ramaphosa going to think about me now? Where I am. And I stood up immediately. Toe sê ek vir haar, Madam, I've seen your house, dit is baie, baie mooi. Toe sê sy, nee, ek is nie klaar nie. Ek is nie klaar nie, sy sê, kom sien my dogter se kamer. Toe wys sy my haar dogter se kamer, and then after that she said, I want you to see that I have a really nice RDP house with a wonderful bathroom, and I used to stay, now listen to what she said. She said, I used to stay in a shack. The ANC government has now given me dignity. They have given me dignity, and today I have a house. Now, I must tell you, whatever you may have been thinking, my heart was warmed. My heart was really warmed to hear this lady saying, I am grateful that the ANC-led government has given me a house. The government has given me a house, and today my dignity is restored. Now, this is precisely what we are going to be doing here in Roodepan. We are going to give dignity to our people. We are going to go to the other regions of Northern Cape, and we are also going to build these houses. 4,500 houses now in the next 2 to 3 years. And after that, we're going to start another project, and another project, and another project, because it's important that we should house the people of the Northern Cape. Amandla! Amandla! Forward with our government, forward. Now, on top of that, this funding mechanism, which I spoke about in SONA, we are now going to also use it when it comes to building schools. And if you listen to the Minister of Finance last year in November, when he released his medium-term policy budget statement, he said Treasury is now going to embark on a number of funding mechanisms to fund projects, to fund infrastructure projects. What this means is that South Africa, as a country, we have now arrived at a completely different era where we no longer wait forever to fund infrastructure. Our infrastructure build is now going to take off. We are now going to have the capacity and the ability to build infrastructure. Over the years, our infrastructure build has been coming down, and we have now found funding mechanisms. We are now going to invite not only the DBSA, the Development Bank of Southern Africa, we're going to go to the other banks and get the other banks to also be part of this infrastructure funding. And it will be less risky to the state. It was going to be beneficial to our people. And this is precisely what we want to be grateful to Premier Zamani Sol about, because he grabbed the opportunity for the Northern Cape. He saw the vision and said, we want it to happen here in the Northern Cape first. And it is now happening. In a few weeks' time, the projects are starting. The building of the houses is starting. And I must say, you as people of the Northern Cape, you are lucky to have a forward-looking premier. You are lucky to have a provincial government that grabs opportunities, that makes things happen. And the fact that here in the Northern Cape, we've got the biggest investments in renewable energy basically means that we've had the leadership here that has mobilized, that has been able to mobilize the investments. So I thank you very much, you the people of the Northern Cape, for being patient, for being understanding. I will not say baya donkey for yele alma, but you are showing that indeed you appreciate what the government is doing, because this government is working. It's not a slap in the regering nie. Hulle sit nie net daar by die kantore and slap nie. They don't just sit on their bums and do nothing. I have seen them working, and I'm grateful that I have a very good working relationship with your Premier and with the government of the Northern Cape. So we will be coming back to inspect, to see whether the projects are moving or not. If they are not moving, I know what I will do, but I don't have to do anything because I know the commitment is there, the determination is there, and I know that Premier Sol will be going to all the building projects himself to go and inspect whether the houses are being built or not. And that is what we should appreciate. And I say, forward with the government of the Northern Cape, forward. Forward with our Premier, forward. Amandla. Amandla. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here.
Halala, President Ramaphosa, halala. Halala, President Ramaphosa, halala. Halala, Premier Sol, halala. Halala, Government of Northern Cape, halala.